On the final game of the season and Week 11, it is a loss for the Weslaco Panthers here tonight, playing against Los Fresnos. They lose by a final score of 29-2, but the Weslaco Panthers never gave up in this contest, playing all the way till the end. Let's go to the highlights in this one, where Los Fresnos came out in the first quarter, passing right here. This is Charles Chapa finding Banuelos with the catch and run right there. It was 7-0 Los Fresnos in the first quarter. Still in the first quarter here it was on third down. Ball is dropped by Johnny Cadengo, fumbles it, picks it up, and he goes for a touchdown. That made it 14-0 Los Fresnos. And they added another score right here before the half. This is Nicolas Valencia with a touchdown, making it 22-0. Like I told you, the Panthers never gave up in this game. They were in the red zone a couple of times. Right here was Los Fresnos deep in their own territory, and they're able to keep him out and in the end zone. And you see right there, it ended up being a safety for the Weslaco Panthers. The only points that came in the game, but you gotta like Mike. You know, despite them losing 29-2, they kept fighting all the way in this game. It got a little chippy there in that game, even a little bit. A player got thrown out of the game, which is expected sometimes. But you got to like the fight and the moxie of the Weslaco Panthers in this game.
Yeah, the Falcons scored all their points in the first half, but then the defense came out in the second half and played with force, and I think they made adjustments, and the Falcons really didn't do much in the second half. And I mean, granted, I think they had that big lead, so they probably weren't, you know, using other weapons or using other plays, but that's okay. The Panthers never gave up, led by Marco Noriega, made some terrific plays. Linebacker, only a junior, one of the players being back next year. But it's really simple from here on out, Carlos. You know, the underclassmen, their off-season starts right now. It's now the off-season, and now you start thinking about 2018.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It is senior night here, so you'll see some of the seniors that are getting ready to run out onto the field behind us. And what they do here is the senior night, they start on one goal line. They get to walk the field here. So all the seniors here, there was still a very, very festive atmosphere here in the game. The fans were enjoying it. It was raining all day today and even this evening, so raining as well. Didn't really play a factor. I think Los Fresnos just really played an excellent game. We've seen them, play, against Weslaco East. It was a game that Weslaco East could have won, but this is probably the most complete game that Los Fresnos has had all season long, you know.
Right.
And talking to some people from Los Fresnos, sometimes they're up, sometimes they're down. This one, they were definitely up, and they're on a roll going into the playoffs now.
I mean, some of their games were decided by single digits, actually. They only beat Weslaco East by like 3 points. San Benito was about 14. Harlingen, they won by 7. I mean, so they were in a lot of games. And as you mentioned, this is probably the only game that they've kind of probably had it, go their way in district play, at least. I'm sure their coaching staff wanted to go into the playoffs with some momentum, and now they have it next week against Edinburgh High.
All right, so the Weslaco Panthers lose 29-2, and now it's time for, like Mike was saying, it's time for Coach Salinas really and his coaching staff to evaluate his talent and see what he has. Mike, what do you think he's telling his team right now about not only this game but the season?
I'm sure the first thing he's doing, because he's been around the business for a long time, is he's thanking the seniors for all their work and for all their leadership, because they are the ones that set the foundation. It started with them, and then now the other thing he's doing is pointing to the juniors and the sophomores and maybe even the freshmen that may be dressed up for tonight and say, all right, guys, now the offseason is here, and they're going to have a whole offseason now to implement exactly what they want to do, and it's, still November. You never know. A lot of these coaches, they like to go to playoff games, and perhaps maybe some of our guys can go and watch. Maybe they can come out here and support in Weslaco East and just kind of see exactly what it's like to play in the playoffs. Carry those little things into the offseason. Get them motivated. Get them into the weight room. Study the playbook a little bit more. Study the defense a little bit more. Those little things carry into spring football, Carlos.
Did you say Weslaco East?
I sure did.
Weslaco East, the sister school of Weslaco High, they are in the playoffs. They qualified last week, but they won tonight. They beat up Hannah. Not beat up Hannah, but they beat Hannah 42-35. So they will play against PSJA. We had talked about them in the pregame show. We said that they were going to automatically host the game. Well, that found out that is not the case. They're actually going to have to flip for it.
Okay.
I talked to Coach Oscar Riojas, the athletic director, and they're going to flip for it probably tomorrow. So we'll find out where Weslaco East will play. Will it be at PSJA, which is a beautiful stadium, and they got a brand new scoreboard over there, or will it be here at Weslaco at Bobby Lackey Stadium? So we still have to wait and see, but congratulations to the Wildcats. They are the #1 seed in Division II. So the 4 teams that are going to the playoffs, San Benito, district champs, Los Fresnos, those guys are going to be in Division I.
Right.
And then we have Weslaco East and Hanna, who will be in Division II. So it's still a lot of football to be played here at WISD.
Yeah, Carlos, and I mean, we want to apologize to our audience. I know we've been informing them about different things. We thought that maybe if they play Vela, it was going to be here automatically because of the UIO rule. But, you know, what happens is the UIO, they make these changes in the offseason, and sometimes, you know, we're not aware of it yet. And even our AD sometimes, you know, he does his research as well, and, you know, we thank him for letting us know that situation as well, because we were under the impression that PSJA was coming over here. Well, that's not the case. We're going to find out either late tonight or tomorrow morning, and yeah, so other than that, I mean, if the Wildcats are in the playoffs, and WISD has a lot to look forward to next week.
Yeah, and let's go back to the Panthers here. This is you know, their final game here. Jacob Cavazos, before the game, I know he is one of those future players, and Peyton Knob as well as a running back, but Jacob Cavazos, he was actually out there on the football field throwing the football around, and the doctor actually told him, you know what, if you want to, you could play. It's been 5 weeks since the injury. But, you know, I think Jacob and his dad and maybe Coach Salinas told him, you know what, just rest. No need to come back in this game and get ready for next year. What a weapon Mr. Cavazos is going to be, you know, for next year.
And I think they did the smart thing by not dressing up in this game. He's only a sophomore. And, I mean, so, and his shoulder is still pretty delicate coming off of that injury. You don't want to risk something worse happening. So, heck, you know, just, you know, wait till next year, go through the offseason, get stronger. He's going to get stronger just like a lot of these players. And, yeah, I think they did the right thing. But it's good to know that, Carlos, that you saw that. And so that's something exciting to go forward to next year.
Peyton Knob also, he was hobbled. He was wearing a bandage on his, not a bandage, but some type of apparatus on his knee. So he was walking around, you know, he wasn't in crutches or anything. So he's going to be also an asset for next year as well. Yeah,
Devin Dana is another player to look forward to. He made some plays earlier today. You know, they have a lot of weapons coming back next year, and it's just going to be a great offseason. I'm sure we're looking forward to it, and I expect a different Weslaco Panther team. We'll see what kind of a schedule they're going to have because of the realignment that we talked about in the pregame show.
Yep, and there you can see right behind us, senior night here at Bobby Lackey Stadium, where the seniors get to walk on the field. They got a video that they're going to watch after this, so still a very festive atmosphere, and you'll hear the music, and yeah, it's going to go on here for the next 20 minutes or so as senior night here at Bobby Lackey Stadium, celebrating a little bit the end of the season. I think there's still a lot of optimism here. New coaching staff, young players that'll be coming back next year. People are not down, you know, after this loss. They're actually pretty excited and looking forward to next year. You got to like that.
Yeah, absolutely, Carl. Why would they be down? I mean, you know what I mean? With a new system, a new philosophy, we knew that there was going to be bumps on the road. I mean, we said that from the get-go, and I mean, we were honest about it. And, you know, the coaches did their best to be optimistic and to be positive about it. I thought they did a great job of it. And as like we said throughout the year, Carlos, they were in a lot of these games. You know, a play here, a play there, you know, made a few mistakes where they shouldn't have, but, you know, that's what a young team does. The important thing is if they learn from it. You learn from it going forward next year. Well, maybe we'll see a different result.
Yeah, one of the things that I noticed especially like in this game right here, there was a lot of penalties.
Right, there you go.
And that is being, you know, things that are going to be coachable, things that are fixable, maybe not being as comfortable with the offense that they're running, thinking a little too much.
Right.
So, you know, once again, we talked about it. Going through this off-season, going through the playbook a little bit more, being more comfortable with this offense, that's going to help a lot.
Yeah, you mentioned the penalties, Carlos, and I mean, there's like 4 penalties in like the first 2 possessions, and so, you know, those are the little things that matter. The turnovers, that's something else that they need to address. They turn the ball over, you know, 1 too many more times, and those are the 2 things that will always beat a football team, penalties and turnovers.
You know, what's also going to be interesting is going to be, okay, what kind of off-season program does Coach Salinas bring to Weslaco, to the Panthers? Because we know what Coach Mike Burgett does. They're very heavy with the weights,
Right.
You know, almost the entire football team will be part of that powerlifting team, and they'll hit the weights and they'll hit it hard. It'll be interesting to see. Okay, what is Coach Salinas? What is his off-season program like? Because we know he's always looking for the latest and the greatest in terms of trying to get his team ready.
And the thing is, Carlos, that if you recall, when he got hired, it was around March, I think. It was around spring break time. So I think they fell a little bit behind on what they wanted to do. They started spring ball I think 2 weeks after his hiring. Now they can start in November, and now they can address what they want to address. Now they can, like you mentioned, evaluate the players. Like maybe there's a player there that's playing linebacker that maybe they can move to either the D-line or to the safety, or maybe there's a running back that maybe they could move to a receiver or vice versa. Little things like that is what they're going to do and evaluate. Then they have the freshman team that are going to be bumped up to sophomores. Are they going to be JV? Are they going to be varsity? We're going to find out. Those are things that now the coaches kind of sit back and evaluate everybody, even from the middle school. They get to go to the middle schools and tell them exactly what they want to do in the off season.
Yeah. You're exactly right. This offense, they're running it all the way down to the middle schools.
Right.
So a lot of work to be done here for Coach Salinas. Starting to rain a little bit harder here tonight. We're going to go ahead and start to wrap it up. Final thoughts, Mike, on the season for the Weslaco Panthers.
Well,
like I said, a lot of excitement, right?
It was very exciting, Carlos. I mean, when we played against San Antonio Marshall, it was an afternoon game, and that was just a terrific win, one of the better wins that the school had this year. And, I mean, they had a nice game against Brownsville Hanna. They were close against Harlingen, and then a nice win against Harlingen South. Tonight didn't go the way they hoped they would go, but, we did see a lot of bright spots from the young players, and I look forward to what they come up with next year.
All right, basketball season has already started. Of course, the Weslaco Lady Panthers, they are playing in a tournament right now in the Mid-Valley Classic. The Panthers, do they start next week? I believe they start
Tuesday night.
Next week. Look out for them, defending district champs in both those girls and boys division. And so it's going to be exciting. If you want to know more about basketball, and you want to know more about these teams, whether it's Weslaco East or Weslaco High School, go to our Facebook page, because Mike Gonzalez did a good job of previewing those teams for Weslaco East and for Weslaco High School. But for now, we're going to wrap it up. A final of this one, it was Los Fresnos winning 29-2. Weslaco East does win, so we will have a pregame show and a postgame show next week, either at here or on the road, because Weslaco East won 42-35. All right, well, thank you from everyone here on the K-West crew. A great regular season, as always. For Mike Gonzalez, I'm Carlos Rivero. Thank you for joining us here on the Miriam Guerra Allstate Insurance postgame show.